We haven't really heard much from you since the tragic passing of Dolph. Is this the first time that you've done an interview since he passed?
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you holding up? I mean, obviously, something that's...
I'm content. I'm all right.
When you say content, what does that mean? Like
I'm maintaining. Like I'm not getting better. I'm not getting worse. I'm just here right now.
Yeah.
When Young Dolph was murdered in Memphis, the city didn't just lose a rapper. It lost a king who built his empire brick by brick. But the one person hit the hardest was his protege and cousin, Key Glock. For months, Glock stayed silent, drowning in grief, avoiding interviews, and refusing to entertain social media gossip. But when he finally spoke, he didn't just talk about pain. He hinted at betrayal from inside the circle, the kind of backstab that makes Dolph's death feel even colder. From the jump, Dolph's killing was different. This wasn't a random robbery gone bad. This was a targeted hit. The shooters pulled up at Makeda's Cookies in broad daylight, masked up and fully armed, like they knew exactly where Dolph would be. Memphis police moved quick, naming suspects, but the deeper investigators dug, the uglier it got. It wasn't just street rivals. People tied to Dolph's world were suddenly in the picture. Justin Johnson, better known as Straight Drop, was the first to be convicted. He got hit with a life sentence. But here's where it got messy. Fans recognized him. Straight Drop wasn't just some random guy off the block. He had ties to Paper Route Empire. He had even popped up in one of Key Glock's music videos. That connection sparked a wave of theories online. If someone moving that close to Glock and Dolph could flip, who else in PRE might have had a hand in setting Dolph up? Then there was Cornelius Smith, still awaiting trial, another suspect tied to the shooting. But the name that really shook the streets was Hernandez Govan. Prosecutors accused him of being the mastermind who ordered the hit, but when the case went to trial, he was acquitted, walked away clean. That left a dark cloud over the case, because if the alleged boss is free, then who really pulled the strings? Was this bigger than just jealousy in Memphis?
We, the jury, found the defendant Hernandez Govan not guilty in count 1 of the indictment. We, the jury, found the defendant Hernandez Govan not guilty in count 2 of the indictment. Ms. Johnson, is this your verdict? Is this your verdict?
Yes, sir.
Is this your verdict?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is this your verdict? Is this your verdict?
Yes.
Is this your verdict?
Yes, Your Honor.
Key Glock made it clear he knew Dolph's killers weren't strangers. On stage and in songs, he started dropping hints, talking about snakes in the grass, fake love, and jealousy disguised as friendship. Fans connected those dots to the case, believing Glock was calling out the betrayal Dolph faced from people close to him. And let's be real, Dolph always rapped about standing alone, not trusting industry suits, not bowing to major labels. But nobody expected the danger would come from inside his own backyard. For Glock, the silence after Dolph's death wasn't weakness, it was strategy. In Memphis, you speak too much. You risk getting labeled a snitch. And Glock wasn't about to tarnish Dolph's legacy by feeding blogs or detectives. But when he finally started opening up, the pain was clear. He wasn't just mourning, he was pointing to something darker. That Dolph's downfall wasn't just about street beef. It was about betrayal from people he once let eat at his table. In Memphis, jealousy has always been dangerous, and Young Dolph was the prime target. He wasn't just another rapper flexing cars and jewelry. He was independent, self-made, and he owned his masters. That's rare in this game. Dolph never bowed to labels, never sold out for industry crumbs, and that independence made him both admired and hated. Every time he bought a property, every time he gave back to the hood, he reminded people he was doing it without a major machine behind him. And in Memphis, where respect and envy walk hand in hand, that kind of success paints a bullseye on your back.
That's just a normal thing when death occurs. It's just like, I ain't gonna say it's wrong to show love, but if it ain't genuine, why do it? Like, if it ain't real, like, you know what I'm saying? So.
Key Glock started hinting that this was bigger than just random shooters. In songs and performances, he talked about friends turning to foes and snakes hiding in the grass. Fans quickly connected those lines to the suspects named in Dolph's case. The fact that Justin Johnson, Straight Drop, once stood in a PRE video and then turned around and got convicted for Dolph's murder sent chills through the streets. If a man who once rocked with you could flip that hard, then loyalty around Dolph wasn't as solid as everyone thought. And let's not forget, Dolph had been in the crosshairs for years. He survived multiple shootings before the one that took his life. Back in 2017, he was hit outside a Hollywood hotel, catching bullets but still surviving. Months before that, his SUV in Charlotte was sprayed with over 100 rounds, but the truck was bulletproof and he walked away laughing about it. Dolph wore those attempts like badges of honor, but Glock knew it meant enemies were always circling. He wasn't paranoid, he was targeted. The street politics in Memphis only added to the tension. Crews like True Mafia had long-standing beef with Dolph, and prosecutors even tied Hernandez Govin, the man accused of ordering the hit, to that gang. But when Govin walked free, it raised eyebrows. How can the alleged mastermind be acquitted while the shooters rot in prison? That left fans believing someone bigger was pulling strings, someone the system couldn't or wouldn't touch. Through all of this, Glock carried himself carefully. He didn't jump into interviews pointing fingers because in Memphis, that's dangerous. Talking too much can get you lined up quick. Instead, he let the music and the subliminals do the talking. Songs about betrayal, bars about fake love, posts about loyalty. He was making it clear he knew Dolph didn't just fall to street beef. He fell to jealousy from inside his circle, people close enough to know his moves.
You gotta be ready when you go back, bro. You go to your hometown, bro. You got the who was in class who ain't never liked you.
And Glock had his own struggles dealing with the fallout. Overnight, he went from Dolph's right-hand man to the face of Paper Route Empire. The pressure wasn't just about carrying the music, it was about carrying the weight of betrayal. Every time he looked at someone in Dolph's old circle, he had to wonder, were they really family, or were they smiling in Dolph's face while plotting behind his back? That paranoia wasn't just personal, it was survival. After Dolph's murder, the spotlight shifted heavy onto Key Glock. Overnight, the world expected him to carry the torch, keep Paper Route Empire, PRE, alive, and somehow fill the shoes of the man who built it all. That's an impossible task for anyone, but Glock didn't run. Instead, he doubled down, dropping projects, touring, and keeping Dolph's name alive in every performance. But behind that determination was a man still broken, still questioning who in Dolph's circle might have played a role in the betrayal. Fans kept pressuring Glock to speak more openly. They wanted interviews, documentaries, answers. But Glock stayed quiet, sticking to music. And that silence sparked two different reactions. Some respected it, saying he was moving smart, keeping Dolph's legacy clean without letting gossip drag it down. Others accused him of dodging the truth, saying he owed the fans more. But the reality was simple. Glock wasn't about to let himself get labeled a snitch. In Memphis, once that tag hits you, your credibility and your safety are gone. Still, cracks in PRE began to show. When Straight Drop was revealed as a suspect, fans questioned how close he'd really been to the label. Old clips of him in Glock's videos resurfaced, fueling theories that someone on the inside had lined Dolph up. Even if Glock wasn't directly involved, people wondered why someone with PRE ties could end up being part of Dolph's murder. That suspicion lingered like smoke in the air. And it wasn't just outside noise. Inside PRE, the weight of Dolph's absence was heavy. Dolph wasn't just the boss. He was the glue that held the camp together. He was the one who made sure business was straight, that money flowed, that loyalty meant something. Without him, Glock had to step into a leadership role he never asked for. That meant handling contracts, shows, and branding, all while keeping his head on a swivel. Because if Dolph wasn't safe in Memphis, what made Glock any safer? The paranoia was real. Glock started moving different. Fewer public appearances outside shows, tighter circles, less trust in outsiders. Every smile could be fake love. Every handshake could hide envy. He knew Dolph's murder wasn't just a street beef. It was a setup that required inside knowledge. That knowledge weighed on him heavy. And while Glock was fighting to keep PRE alive, he also had to deal with constant comparisons. Fans wanted him to become Dolph, but that was impossible. Glock had his own style, his own voice, but no matter what he dropped, the shadow of Dolph's murder hung over it. Interviews, blogs, fans, all they wanted to ask about was the case. And Glock, choosing silence, let the music carry the message. Tracks laced with bars about betrayal, snakes, and fake love. Songs that didn't name names but made it clear he was talking about people who once sat at Dolph's table. That's the reality Glock faced. Build a legacy while carrying the trauma of betrayal, and do it in a city where jealousy kills quicker than bullets. PRE wasn't just a label anymore. It was a reminder that loyalty is rare and trust can cost you your life. Almost 3 years after Young Dolph's murder, the wounds in Memphis still haven't healed, and for Key Glock, they probably never will. Every move he makes is under the shadow of Dolph's death. He's not just Glock the rapper anymore. He's Glock the survivor, Glock the heir to paper route empire, Glock the one who has to stand tall while whispers of betrayal keep echoing in the streets. The legal side of the case gave some closure but left more questions. Justin Johnson, straight drop, got sentenced to life, and Cornelius Smith is still awaiting trial. But when Hernandez Govan, the man prosecutors said ordered the hit, walked free after being acquitted, it flipped the whole case on its head. Fans looked around asking, if the so-called mastermind didn't do it, then who really called the shots? That mystery keeps fueling conspiracy theories, from street rivals tied to Trula Mafia, to jealous Memphis rappers, to insiders who might have been eating with Dolph before lining him up. Key Glock never came out pointing fingers, but he didn't need to. The pain in his music, the subliminals in his lyrics, the way he moves now, it all tells the story. He's rapped about snakes in the circle, about people smiling in Dolph's face while plotting behind his back, about loyalty being nothing but a word. Fans know he's talking about the betrayal tied to Dolph's death, even if he never drops names. That silence protects him in the streets, but it also leaves the mystery alive. And Glock's career, it's thriving, but it's heavy. He's dropped projects like Yellow Tape 2 and toured across the world selling out shows. Fans still pull up to scream Dolph's name, holding up paper route empire chains like a badge of honor. But no matter how high Glock climbs, Dolph's absence is always felt. Every stage feels like a tribute. Every song feels like he's carrying both their legacies on his back. That's a weight no young artist should have to bear, but Glock wears it anyway. Paris itself will never be the same. Dolph was the CEO, the visionary, the one who made sure the label moved like a family. Without him, Glock has to play leader, soldier, and survivor all at once. That's why trust inside the camp is so fragile now. If someone close to Dolph could betray him, Glock knows he has to move with caution every single day. That paranoia, that sense of betrayal, it hangs over PRE like a storm cloud that won't pass. The truth is, Young Dolph's murder wasn't just about bullets. It was about betrayal. Betrayal from people who knew his moves, betrayal from a city that couldn't let him shine, betrayal from snakes hiding in plain sight. And that's the scar Glock carries. He's turned the pain into fuel, but the questions never stop. Who betrayed Dolph? Who's still hiding in the shadows? And will the truth ever come out? Until then, Glock's message is clear. He's holding down the empire, keeping Dolph's name alive, and making sure PRE stands strong. But he'll never forget the lesson Memphis taught him. Loyalty is rare and betrayal is deadly.